How's everyone doing? Everyone good? All right, 5 or 6 of you, that's cool. All right, so welcome to the Communication Arts Speak Up. I'd like to thank you all for coming out, supporting, and being part of this event. I guarantee you it will be an intriguing and thought-provoking experience, so hang on to your seats, all right? Well, my name, just to introduce myself, my name is Tomas Alcala. I am the MC for this event. I am a junior here at FIU. I'm also majoring in communication arts. I know I have a couple professors and colleagues out here, so unfortunately I gotta be on my best behavior. It's all right though, we'll have fun. So I'm also a student government senator here at FIU. I'm the student government senator for CARTA, which is the home for the communication arts department, which is obviously responsible for this wonderful event. So today we have 5 finalists, which are chosen from several audition pieces, and these excellent speeches will be all revolving around one common theme, which is the theme for this semester Speak Off, and that is tech versus touch, interpersonal relationships in our techno world. Now, I have a funny story to tell you. This is actually true. So yesterday afternoon, probably around 5 o'clock, I went to my friend's dorm. He lives on the 7th floor of his building, and I get out of the elevator. I kind of ball my phone a little bit, and knowing my luck, it falls through the crack of the elevator and the floor that I'm getting off of. Yeah, I know, it's all right, don't worry about it. So anyways, so yeah, I go to the lobby. I'm kind of in shock, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of distraught, it's never happened to me before. I go to the lobby and I tell them about my situation. They say, you're gonna have to come tomorrow morning. So yeah, so what happens is I come the next day and I find my phone completely destroyed. In fact, I have it right here for you. And I'm not gonna lie to you folks, I'm kind of in a little bit of a cell phone withdrawal right now. It's a weird feeling. I feel like I'm missing a part of my body. But it's all right because I'm telling you this story because it serves as an excellent example of how attached we are to our phones and really technology in general. I mean, there's definitely a perpetual evolution of technology that's going on that's really inevitable, and it's definitely going to affect us in the future. Maybe we may not be able to tell how it's affecting us in the long term, but there's definitely been some changes that have gone on because of these technologies today. And in fact, some are good, which some of our speakers, Brandon, Arin, and Stephanie, will elaborate on some of the positives of this change in our technological world. And some of them are bad, which one of our contestants as well, Lin, will elaborate on. And even further than that, some are neither good nor bad, which Fadi, one of our speakers, is going to explain on the intent of the user. It all depends on the intent of the user of that technological medium. But before we get into all of that and they elaborate on their speeches, I'd like to point out that this event couldn't be possible without the Communication Arts Department Chair, their faculty and staff, Joanne Brown, who's the Department Chair, Dean Brian Schreiner, and the Communication Arts Studio. So let's give a round of applause to these individuals. So we're also honored to have some of our communication arts students here who have volunteered themselves to be judges for the events. I know one of them was the MC for the past year, Arin over here, and I know there's also a finalist last year, Stephanie. So let's go ahead and give a round of applause for them. And I'd also like to give a special round of applause to a communication arts instructor here at FIU, Kay Montero. She's responsible for coordinating everything. Definitely well deserved. So finally, I want to introduce Ciara Adames. If you could, where's Ciara at? There she is. So she's the Communication Art Department marketing intern. So she's the reason why you can find lots of interesting stuff on the bulletin boards out in VH, which is Vertis Halls. It's also where the Communication Arts Studio is located. So Ciara is going to be doing a live tweeting today for the Speak Off. So check that out on her Twitter. What's the social media handle?
Hello, my name is Ciara. I'm the marketing intern. And what I'm trying to do for this event is have a live Twitter feed and a live Facebook feed. And right now, we're the only people with the hashtag SpringSpeakOff. And hopefully when fall comes, we'll do a fall speak off, but that's not currently taken. So as like kind of like a memorandum of this event, if all of you can like us on Facebook and hashtag Spring Speak Off and put something nice, don't, cyberbully, that's not cool. We're not in high school, we're all adults. Hashtag the Spring Speak Off and put, interesting points, something to where as a department we can look back and see the student involvement, not just say, we had this X amount of students here, but say this is what they were saying. And in the long run, it also helps us as a department, with the topics and things like that. So you're not just, I guess, creating memories, but you're also helping us as well. So thank you, and I really appreciate it. For the Twitter, it's FIU Comm Arts, and if you Facebook, it's FIU Communication Arts. So get out your cell phone, tablets, laptop, the FIU Secure, you know how to get on the Wi-Fi, and like us, and between the speakers, just post a little something and enjoy.
Ciara also oversees the Communication Arts Facebook, so please go ahead, put a smile on her face and like that page. And our judges will be listening to 5 equally talented and ambitious students who have put countless of hours into their speeches today. So please respect them when they're talking, and I'd like to introduce them now. You can stand up when I introduce you. Arin Phillips. Lin Haoran. Stephanie Maceda. Castro, and finally Folly Cunning. So without further ado, our first speaker up today is Arin Phillips. So if you could give her a round of applause.
My name is Arin Phillips, and good afternoon. I'm delighted for the opportunity to be able to speak with you all today. This year's topic, Tech versus Touch, navigating interpersonal relationships in our techno world, is one that I, myself, can easily relate to. For I am a millennial, child of the 21st century, as are most all of you. My peers and I are arguably the most tech-savvy and subsequently the most technologically dependent generation to date. Because when you think about it, we've never known any different. We were 5th graders with cell phones. Admittedly, those phones weren't black and white, didn't text, but you could play a mean game of Snake. We were 6th graders with AOL screen names, who I am from the time we got home until it was time to go to sleep. We were 9th graders with MySpace accounts that had to be constantly updated and regularly maintained, but we illicitly accessed on our sidekicks hidden beneath our desks. Said MySpace accounts had the ability to make or break your social standing, for the next 2 weeks anyways. The members of my generation can also easily remember being 10th graders with Facebook accounts, seniors with Twitters, and college students with Instagrams and Snapchats. For as long as we can remember, we've been communicating with the world around us, just as much, if not more so, than by being in the same room with it. When you think about it, how many of us have texted a friend in the same room, or called someone in the same house or building because it was easier? And though we were kids who used tech for play, we have become adults who need tech to survive. Oh, but don't take my word for it. Just ask members of previous, less tech-savvy generations. They'll happily give you accounts about how my generation can't tell time without a digital clock, or know the difference between north and south without the use of an app. And as critical as their assessments may be, we have to wonder, are they wrong? In fact, in a study by Stanford University published in Developmental Psychology, it was found that my generation possesses unparalleled multitasking abilities that older generations don't have and can't learn. And as beneficial as these abilities may prove to be in our employed world, their acquisition comes with a price. The tech interface that we've constantly evolved in to hone these abilities has proven to have negative sociological and emotional consequences in the long run. We are lucky enough to have technology be a part of our daily lives, from the time we wake up to an app set on our smartphone until we finally stop refreshing our Twitter feeds and go to sleep. But for a generation that never truly unplugs, How much is too much? Are we doing more harm than good? Okay. Our social interactions and interpersonal relationships are maintained through not so equal parts: old school, in-person, physical interaction, and new school, texting and the Holy Trinity. And yes, I'm referring to the Holy Trinity of social media, usage of which has gone up 800% in less than a decade, according to Forbes. Now, of that Holy Trinity of social media, we have Instagram, where life becomes a colorful slideshow of funny videos, pretty food, outfits of the day, and duck-faced selfies. Twitter, which is basically starting a conversation with yourself and hoping someone else joins in. And Facebook, where you can compare all of your accomplishments to those of your peers. And spend the rest of the day feeling inadequate, which lost even more appeal when our parents joined and started poking us. And by the way, no Dad, sorry, I still didn't get your friend's request. As we grow older, our lives become increasingly tech entwined. Now we can even use tech to initiate, maintain, and preserve our interpersonal relationships, oftentimes letting our cell phones become a primary method of communication between our friends, family, and romantic partners. Said best in the movie, He's Just Not That Into You, by Drew Barrymore's character, a young woman attempting to date in our Techno World. She said, "When I want to make myself look more attractive to the opposite sex, I don't get a new haircut, I update my profile picture." Extremely true, as the first step to talking always seems to be constant texting and Instagram stalking. As we speak, the tech trap is growing, evolving. Businesses are using social media interfaces to reach consumers on our level. And according to CareerBuilder.com, some 37% of potential employers are vetting Twitter feeds and Instagram posts. And somewhere, a 10-year-old just got his first smartphone and Vine account. But being wrapped up in this tech trap is fun. Now. But will it be enough? How much is too much? Since we do not hold the same reservations about tech-based communication that members of previous generations may have, oftentimes we find that this causes a rift between us. Our predecessors were quick to say that we tend to avoid face-to-face interactions and confrontation because our generation has grown up using a screen as a safety blanket. And though calm arts programs such as these manage to foster a blend between old school wisdom and new school vision, not everyone is as lucky. And as we bask in our violent delights, we must admit that there can be too much of a good thing. And as a generation of people who are texting more than we're talking and tweeting more than we're meeting, we don't want to be connected anymore. We just want to feel connected while we isolate. Forbes stated that we as human beings, our only real method of authentic communication is not through verbal or word communication. To be authentic, studies show that only 7% of communication is based on written or verbal word. A whopping 93% is based on nonverbal communication and body language. Shocking, but true. Isn't it only when we hear a tone of voice or look into a loved one's eyes when we know that I'm fine doesn't mean that they're fine at all? Is it possible that we're forgetting the joys of having lunch with a friend without constant buzzing and chiming disruptions, or meeting someone and then waiting until we see them again to get to know them? As the convergence of tech and touch metaphorically kiss, it garners a question: which will triumph? And in the immortal words of William Shakespeare, I'd like you all to remember: these violent delights have violent ends, and in their triumph die, like fire and ice, which, as they kiss, consume. Thank you.
Arin's a junior here. She's a communication arts major. So now, good job, Arin. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and pass the mic to Lin Haoran. He's a freshman here, and he's a finance major. So Lin, whenever you're ready. Give him a round of applause, by the way.
Good afternoon, everybody. At first, let me ask you all, how many of you must take a note on your laptop? Let me see your hands there. Oh, that's not very a lot, but okay, so how many of you must check your Facebook or Instagram every day? I'm glad you all are all so honest. So today, I'm going to talk about technology makes us lose communication in real life. As we can see this picture here, this little baby treated TV as his mother. So how often do we use technology? Based on general university statistics, 73% of college students cannot study without technology. And 38% of college students cannot go even 10 minutes without checking their email, laptop, or Facebook. So if I ask you to leave your cell phone for even an hour, there must be a big touch in your life. Students are so obsessed in advanced technology. As you can see, in this Thanksgiving dinner night, everyone is using technological devices. I believe you have been one of these people here who usually put your eyes on your cell phone. Have you thought about your grandparents who are looking forward to talk with you after a year, and you just put your eyes on your cell phone? How long you haven't asked about your parents after you left home to a college or your ideal job? We can easily say hi to our friend on Facebook, but we even cannot greet our parents face to face. So what should we do to solve this abnormal phenomenon? My suggestion is that this is your cell phone. I wish you can put it down instead of always holding on your hands. What difference will it make? Let's look at how much time we spend on social networking websites by our cell phone. On average, a person spends over 15 hours on Facebook per month, which is a half hour a day. If you don't check your Facebook for a day, you can have actual a half hour. You can use this a half hour to talk with your family or friends in the real life. And 22% of teenagers who log on Facebook over 10 times a day. My suggestion is that you only have to log on your Facebook once a day to check are there any messages you need to reply for your friends. For the rest of the time, you not only can use them to talk with your family, but to do your schoolwork. Last but not least, 48% of 18 to 34 years old check their Facebook when they wake up. If you say good morning to your parents or roommates when you just wake up, I believe they will appreciate your greeting and have good impression on you. I don't want to be biased to only focus on Facebook, but Facebook is the most popular social networking website that people usually use. But some of you still didn't realize how serious the problem is. Hold on, just let me check my Facebook. Excuse me? Oh, you say I'm doing a speech now? I'm not supposed to check my Facebook? Wait, hold on. At first, let me take a selfie. Yeah, good, yeah. I'm pretty sure some of you are already getting mad over there. But this is exactly what you did during your family dinner. I believe your family members have the same feeling like you now. They would feel disrespectful and mad at you. So why don't we put down our cell phone, talk to people, talk to your family members in the real life. They will be very happy and appreciate your consent. Talk to your friends in face-to-face. I believe they will have different aspects on you. Talk to your classmates in the class. You may find out they have the same habit like you, or you can learn new information from them. Talking to people around you, you will find out there's a new and a beautiful world will provide you happiness. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you, Lynn. Now we have Stephanie Maceda. She's a senior here, and she's also a communication arts major, so put your hands together for Stephanie.
Last week, I was looking through my Instagram account when I noticed a hashtag that said, "Stand with Grayson." I later found out that this hashtag represented a 9-year-old boy who had been punched, shoved, and kicked for bringing a My Little Pony bag to school. When the school decided that they wouldn't do anything about it, and instead had advised the mother to not let her son bring the bag to school, the mother quickly went on social media accounts and posted her frustrations. This caught so much attention that radio personalities and MSNBC reporters decided to start a social media campaign which urged adults to empower children to always be free to express themselves. Because of the media attention this received, people today and schools today are forced to think about their standards about a child's right to freely express themselves. More and more today, people are using the internet to voice out their concerns and to dream about change. But can you really create change through this simple act? Critics to online activism would argue no. However, I believe that in a technological world, we have a unique power, despite criticism, to share information, to raise awareness, and to ultimately create change. Now, the term Slacktivism was created in 1995, which puts together two terms, slacking and activism. They claim that when you post a tweet or post a picture or sign an online petition, you are not really engaging in any real change towards the end. So they're saying that these little actions do not contribute to any change. However, I believe that it does. Now, I understand that sending a tweet is very different from standing in front of a cannon. However, I believe that it reaches the same goal through a different path. Now, I know that's very hard to understand, but let me explain. When you post something on the internet, you have a mighty power to spread information quickly. Through this, you can raise awareness overnight. So in a very, very unique way, we have power in numbers. So very recently, living here in Miami, I'm sure we've all observed many cars that say hashtag SOS Venezuela. This represents the last 15 years that Venezuela has been living with an unjust and corrupt government. It is so unjust and corrupt in Venezuela right now that they have also decided to control the media outlets so that we would never see what's happening there. However, how do you and I still know what's going on in Venezuela? How do we know? It's through these social media accounts that we begin to become aware of what's happening. It is through this that we begin to find ourselves caring about these people that we've never met. Now, because this is in its early stage, it's hard to see where real change can come from. So let's explore examples where real changes have happened. In 2010, during the Arab Spring Revolution, activists used Facebook to plan protests, Twitter to coordinate these protests, and then YouTube to tell the world about it. By telling the world, people began to care, and they gained unlikely supporters from the US, from the UK. And through this, they were able to empower their government. They overthrew their oppressor, and now they are free. In 2011, when India realized that their laws were no longer protecting the people, they started an online petition on azabs.org, which gained 500,000 online signatures within 36 hours. This showed the Indian government that people really needed change, that it was important to create change. So, as you see, the internet is a tool for liberation and empowerment. And although social media is in its early stages or infancy stage of growth, we are taking global leaps forward by using technology to encourage self-expression and to promote mutual understanding. Technology is such a mighty tool, so we should utilize it to its fullest capacity. Improving someone's situation should never be limited to the people who can physically be there to fight. Kids in Miami like you and me and everywhere else in the world should be able to fight for countries like Venezuela and kids like Grayson. This is our generation's unique power, and we must not underestimate it or take it for granted. So the next time you see a hashtag or a tweet or something that you feel strongly about, go ahead and send that out to your social media network. Because whether others believe it or not, you are making a difference. Thank you.
All right, so now presenting, we have Brandon Castro. Brandon's also a major in communication arts, and he's a sophomore here at FIU, so go ahead and put your hands together for Brandon.
Everyone hear me all right? All right. Thank you all for coming out. I really appreciate that. I want to give a special thanks to Professor Curlin for inspiring me to come out tonight. I want to thank my friends and my family, my grandma, my mom, and my brother for coming out tonight. I really couldn't do this without you guys. And you know what? To commemorate this moment, let's take a quick selfie. Let's get this going on, guys. Everyone smile? All right, it's beautiful. Now why did I just do this? I did it for support. Support is established on social media networks by adding individuals as a friend or a follower. From there, we begin a weak social tie that has the possibility for growth. From there, we like photos, we instant message them, we comment on things, and further friendship is established. But why do we need these friends and followers? One key function of a person's social network is to help cope with the daily problems of life. A study done by Berkman and Syme in 1979 showed that people who lacked social and community ties were more likely to die in the following 9-year period than those with extensive ties. That's a very powerful notion, to know that by having more friends and people there for you, that you'll live longer. From these contexts, you get 4 things. You get emotional aid. If someone broke up with you, you have family problems, they'll be there for you. You get material aid. Oh, I'm sick. Someone can bring you some soup. Someone can jumpstart your car. You get information. Pretend you're looking for a new job. More friends, more possibilities, am I right? And finally, you get companionship. You get a friend who'll be there for you thick and thin. Research links social support to diverse positive outcomes, including increased lifespan, better physical and mental health, recovery from illness, increased quality of life, and improved morale. All of this is contributed by using these social media networks, by having this fan group of friends and followers. But these social media networks do more than just this. As we've heard from the previous speaker, there are oppressive governments all over the world. And in China, people have been petitioning in the streets via Twitter by showing their disapproval of certain policies, and people will go into the streets and show their dismay. It's come to the point, as I referenced the CNN article I read, that China has around 2 million people policing public opinion online. 2 million people, just to see what you think about your government. In addition, they're also spending millions, perhaps billions of dollars for internet censorship. That goes to show how powerful we have a voice in these types of governments and situations. By just posting something, we can create a huge event that would show the government something else. Additionally, the Arab Spring event in 2010 also had an oppressive government. These people went in the streets, they showed their dismay, and they're writing hashtag January 25th all over Facebook, Twitter, on the walls in the streets, to bring people under one common cause, to unite them, to overthrow this government. Nearly 9 in 10 Egyptians and Tunisians said they're using Facebook to organize these protests. So next time you see someone taking a selfie, or posting something, or on a social media network, don't be so quick to judge. There's deep, complex variables going on that promotes physical and mental health, and even raise political awareness and action. Thank you.
All right, our next speaker is Fadi Qadi. He's a freshman here. He's also a business major, so go ahead and give a round of applause for Fadi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming, and a special one to my professor, Ms. Arin here. So, humans have reached a very high level of technological advancement in the past 10 years. Nobody can deny the fact that such an advancement has benefited us and improved the quality of our daily life, and eventually made it a lot easier. As a result of technology, infrastructure, travel, experience, and communications were definitely improved. Technology has improved our security too. It is something fantastic if we know how to use it for our own benefit without losing touch with others, because we will be losing a lot if we totally lose in-person communications. Yes, I can speak to my dad who's living overseas for free. I can see him on my laptop and he can see me. That's good. The technology did that for me. But there are millions of kids nowadays who don't even know how the living room in their house looks. And that's because they spend hours and hours sitting in their room, holding their phone and texting. They don't talk to their parents so often. But guess what? Some of the parents are like that too. So it can be a disaster to our personal relationships if this phenomenon continues to rise. People nowadays are not only using technology to satisfy their necessary needs, but also to fill their free time rather than allocating such time to play sports or to read books, for example. One big negative aspect of technology is the loss of personal communication. That's what is called the dark side of technology. Many people these days prefer just to sit on their social media account rather than visiting their old grandparents and having a conversation with them. Many people prefer just to search the internet in an attempt to solve their own problems, rather than talking with their parents about their problems. Why to search the internet? Will the internet understand you better than your parents? Henry David Thoreau has once said, "Men have become the tools of their tools." That means that we are now being controlled by technology. I have many friends who fail to stay away from their social media account for only 2 days. That's damaging their relationships with others and their relationship with themselves too. Because people must see each other. They must talk. That's the human nature. People need that to achieve a certain level of inner peace. But unfortunately, we became tools. Because all the world is now using technology intensively, I personally cannot stay away from my social media account. Not because it's fun, but because I am part of many pages and groups related to my classes and to my college. I must stay in touch with them. That's what I meant by saying we are now being controlled by technology. Technology is a blessing if we know how to use it, and if we keep in touch with people around us. But it might turn into a disaster if we reach a point when we start talking to our computers or to our phones. So it's not about technology itself, it's about how we use it. Thank you.
All right, so let's go ahead and give it up to these 5 great souls here who volunteered to speak. So now we just need a few moments for the judges to go ahead and deliberate. So while we wait the decision, we have a compilation video for you that takes the words of past speak-off contestants and mixes them with some of the most inspirational voices of our time. So as we watch this video, consider the power that our words carry and the big changes that are possible behind small ideas and strong wills. I hope you enjoy the video.
Sometimes life's going to hit you in the head with a brick. Don't lose faith.
Instead, be calm and be cautious.
This gives you virtually limitless possibility.
Yes, we can seize our future.
But I believe that in all things, there is a purpose.
What can they do to replicate this same event? What can they do to join this great movement?
For the past 33 years, I've looked in the mirror every morning and asked myself, if today were the last day of my life, would I want to do what I am about to do today?
Now, just a quick poll. How many of the people in the audience today own Apple products? Just raise your hands. Wow, quite a lot of you.
So what I want you to do is
have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become.
presidents like Bill Clinton.
Share Martin Luther King's dream.
I have a dream.
To the millions who are strong, I issue the plea. Set aside prejudice in politics to make room for compassion and sound policy.
And then reap all the free beers you'll get whenever you tell the story.
With the passing of time,
we have to make an effort to understand.
A belief that we're all connected as one people.
I hope that you will share Martin Luther King's dream.
I have a dream today.
With the message we've carried from the plains of Iowa,
from the mighty mountains of New York,
to the hills of New Hampshire.
Let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghenies of Pennsylvania.
From the Nevada desert,
let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado,
to the South Carolina coast.
Learn with me the lessons of history and of grace.
This is an amazing feat.
To tame the savageness of man and make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that.
We have the power to touch hearts and to move millions just by the sound of our voice.
To do what you believe is great work.
Let them underestimate you. Just don't underestimate yourself.
We can heal this nation.
And want justice for all human beings.
That while we breathe, we will hope.
You are already naked.
What does that mean to the rest of us?
There is no reason not to follow your heart.
Don't act all terrified and paranoid.
Change the world.
I bear a message of challenge.
Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking.
Communication is the way of the future, and our generation is the future.
We're always willing to step up and do something, not wait for someone else to do it.
Put up a fight.
And love.
So, I wanted to conclude by saying we're not put on this earth to see through one another, but to see one another through.
So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
Alright, so we're still waiting on 2 judges to place in their votes. We went ahead and voted through technological means with the eye clicker, so we're pretty contemporary out here. So now we have one more judge, waiting for one judge to put in their vote, and then we'll go ahead and give you the results. The results are in. Okay, so in 3rd place, we have Brandon Castro. All right. So now, in second place, we have Stephanie Maceda. Congratulations, Stephanie. All right, congratulations, Stephanie. And finally, we have our first place winner of the Speak Off is Arin Phillips. All right, so congratulations to our contestants, and thank you for participating. Congratulations to you guys as well. I want to go ahead and thank the people who put this together, all the faculty from the Communication Arts Department, and as well thank you to you guys for coming out and means the world to these contestants as well as us. So thank you and have a good day. Appreciate it.